Welcome back to my React series. Today we're going to be reacting to A Beginner's Guide to the Eurovision Song Contest. This was requested. Um, so yeah, I've listened to a couple Eurovision or like Eurovision songs. um, so sorry, I was trying to think of the name. I can't at the moment. But yeah, let's get into this. This one's gonna be a little longer, but I'm definitely excited to see all the stuff. Let's go.
This video is sponsored by Pianote.
Hi,
The
Piano.
Eurovision Song Contest is a competition where various European and sometimes not
Participating countries.
European countries enter an
See if I know all these countries. I don't know Malta, Moldova, Netherlands, Norway. Wait, Albania, Armenia, Australia. Azerbaijan? I don't think I know Azerbaijan. Belgium, Croatia, Cyprus, Czech Republic, Denmark, Estonia, Finland, France, Georgia, Germany, Greece, Iceland, Ireland, Israel, Italy, Latvia, Lithuania, Malta, again, don't know. Moldova, Netherlands, Norway, Poland, Portugal, Romania, San Marino. I don't think I know San Marino either. So far, as Azerbaijan, Malta, San Marino, I know Serbia, I know Slovenia, I know Spain, Sweden, Switzerland, Ukraine, United Kingdom. So only 3. I did pretty good.
countries enter an original song.
My public schooling didn't fail me too much.
And then all of the countries vote for the best one, and frankly, it's quite wild.
I wish I could fucking sing like that.
Since its quite conservative beginnings back in the 1950s, the contest has evolved into a colourful display of politics.
1958, goddamn. Dang. So was this made to help like unify all like the European countries after World War II, or like most of them? Not in like unify, but like have like something they can all do together.
Nonsense.
Right? Am I remembering World War II correctly? I'm looking it up real fast. Dates. 45. So 10, 13 years later. So maybe? Because I imagine, like, right after World War II, countries were a little bit tense. Maybe? That one said 44. France?
Quite conservative beginnings back in the 1950s, the contest has evolved into a colourful display of politics.
Oh, duh. It's the fucking song. I was like, what the fuck? How is that one in color?
Nonsense.
That makes more sense.
And actually also sometimes some pretty good music. So particularly for the benefit of my mostly non-European viewers, let me introduce you to the weird and wonderful world of the Eurovision Song Contest.
It's so
now,
bright.
Particularly in recent decades, the contest has become known for its more eccentric performances. Some just a little quirky, some just a bit garish, and some, well...
Dude's
But even if the weirder, eye-catching performances are the ones that get a lot of attention, the songs that go on to win the contest are
That dude must burn so many calories when he performs.
usually a bit more ordinary. Perhaps the most unusual act to ever win the contest was the Finnish hard rock group Lordi in the year 2006.
God damn.
And I'm not saying they were unusual just because of their demonic costumes. Lordi winning the contest was also unusual because they were playing rock music. Rock songs rarely make an appearance at Eurovision, let alone win.
I do like the
only
costumes.
other rock song that's
Very
won the
cool.
contest was ZTE Buena
But goddamn, they must be hot.
at Eurovision,
Like,
let
look at all
alone
that
win.
shit.
The only other rock song
That's what, like a base, like probably their clothes, a base like coat thing, and then maybe all the armor on top of that, and the masks and prosthetics that they're wearing. That's gotta.
that's won the contest was ZTE Bueni by Italian band Maneskin in 2021. The sort of songs that typically win the contest will usually have a dash of novelty in their performance, but will generally just be a pretty good, straightforward pop song. Toy by Netta, for example, which won the contest for Israel in 2018, does contain a brief chicken impression. But beyond that, it's a fairly standard and fairly catchy pop song. And also, side note, if you're thinking right now, that song sounds a lot like Seven Nation Army by the White Stripes, well, you're not alone. Universal Records also spotted the likeness, and after threatening legal action, Jack White was credited on the song. So, in a roundabout way, the White Stripes kind of co-wrote a Eurovision winning song. Nowadays, most Eurovision entries, including most winning songs, will tend to be sung in the English language, regardless of which country they're actually representing. But this is a fairly modern trend. For the first couple decades of the contest, every winning song was actually sung in the country's native language. The first winning song not to be sung in the
Look at those microphones. Damn.
The first winning song not to be sung in the act's native tongue was 1974's Waterloo, sung by Eurovision's greatest success story, ABBA.
ABBA! You gotta love ABBA. It's just
ABBA
Just
aren't
the
the
way it
only
is.
acts, though, to have been launched to international success by Eurovision. In 1988, a French-Canadian singer called Celine Dion represented Switzerland at Eurovision and won.
Celine Dion? Is she Swiss? She's from Switzerland?
Celine Dion was already well known in her home country of Canada as a
She's from Canada.
French language singer, but it wasn't until after winning Eurovision that she started releasing English language music and became the global megastar that she is today.
Wait, what?
Another now household name to appear at Eurovision before they had quite made it is Olivia Newton-John, who represented the UK in 1974. Much like with Celine Dion, in 1974, Olivia Newton-John was an established singer, but it would still be 4 years before she shot to global fame and starred in the film Grease.
I got my master's in early childhood education at
Dang, that's
Arizona
pretty
State
cool. What the
University's
fuck? I don't care about you, Arizona State.
Wait, how did Canadian Celine Dion represent Switzerland? Well,
Exactly. Sir, that was my confusion.
a Eurovision contestant doesn't have to be from the country that they are representing. For
Interesting.
example, American rapper Flo Rida represented San Marino in 2021,
Also
alongside
interesting.
Italian singer Senhit. Flo Rida is one of many established artists
I had no clue Flo Rida was in a Eurovision contest.
who made an appearance at Eurovision. Although the song they perform at the contest must be a brand new composition, the performer doesn't have to be some little known or unknown artist. Many already very well-established artists have appeared at Eurovision, including...
This is super interesting. Like, I had no clue about any of this.
Cliff Richard, who represented the UK in 1968 and 1973. Congratulations and jubilations, I won the world. And Katrina and the Waves, who are known for their 1980s hit Walking on Sunshine, who won Eurovision for the UK in 1997.
Okay, so do they just perform once? And then is just a whole lot of groups? Or is it uh like they do it in like rounds and then people are eliminated that way?
Pianote is an online interactive resource for learning how to play the piano. You might already be familiar with the country to have won Eurovision.
We're gonna skip past piano.
The country to have won Eurovision the most is...
God damn. Ireland's killing it. Sweden, runner-up, and France. Interesting. Oh, I guess France, Luxembourg, United Kingdom, Netherlands are all tied.
Ireland.
Nice.
And 3 of those Irish wins are actually thanks to one person, Johnny Logan. Johnny Logan is not only the only performer to have won Eurovision twice, performing Ireland's winning song in both 1980 and 1987, but he also composed Ireland's 1992 winning song.
Dang.
Ireland is also the only country to have won the contest 3 years in a row, winning Eurovision 92, 93 and 94. In fact, some have speculated that in 1995, Ireland intentionally entered a lackluster song to avoid winning the contest a 4th time in a row. But why would a country not want to win Eurovision?
Yeah.
Well, because the winning country has to host the next year's contest. And hosting Eurovision can be a very expensive thing to do.
Oh.
Many speculate that some of the more dreadful acts that have been put forward to Eurovision over the years were intentionally bad because the country didn't want to risk winning and therefore having to host the contest.
That's funny.
This is particularly the case for the so-called Big Five. Although the main spectacle of Eurovision is the grand finale, most countries who enter the contest have to first qualify in a semi-final.
It's answering my questions. Thank you.
But the Big Five, France, Germany, the UK, Spain and Italy, automatically qualify for the grand finale due to these countries' large monetary contribution to the running of the contest.
Wow.
This means that if one of those Big Five don't want the hassle and expense of hosting Eurovision next year, they might intentionally enter a mediocre song. Now, the system by which
So do the Big Five automatically donate money for Eurovision? I mean, that would make sense so they get to the top 5. But then if they don't want it, or if they don't have enough money, then okay.
countries are voted for has changed over the years, but is generally some sort of mix of a professional jury and votes from the general public. The rules and structure of Eurovision have changed many times during the contest's almost 70-year history. An interesting example of the rules having to change actually was
70
after
years is crazy.
the 1969 Eurovision, where 4 different countries, the UK, Spain, the Netherlands and France, all won the contest. They were all joint winners of Eurovision.
Nice.
This is because they all scored the same amount of points and no tiebreaker rule had been introduced to the contest yet. Needless to say, the next year a tiebreaker rule was introduced. Now, getting over 30 different countries to all compete against each other in a song contest is going to result in some politics. Of course, it's well known that certain countries will always vote favourably for their close allies. For example, Greece and Cyprus always...
What happens if you win? Do you just get to perform the next one? Does like exports increase after you win Eurovision? Do you get more import? Do you
vote for each other, and the UK and Ireland often swap votes. But more notably, in years where Eurovision takes place against
The UK and Ireland.
Cyprus always vote for each other, and the UK and Ireland often swap votes.
What?
But more notably, in years where Eurovision takes place against more politically charged world events,
Fame and who, I guess?
you can often see those events reflected in the voting. For example, last year, Ukraine won Eurovision. And although their song was good, and Ukraine have won the contest before, it's probably not a coincidence that they won in the year 2022. Likewise, the first Eurovision Song Contest that took place after Brexit had completed, which was 2021, the UK scored the dreaded nil point.
And the United Kingdom gets
Neil Poix.
from the public 0 points.
Damn. Oh, that's gotta fucking suck.
Of course, it can be hard
I feel so bad.
to tell conclusively how much politics is really influencing the voting. Maybe the UK's entry that year just wasn't very good.
Sometimes I know my fire burns low, but as long as you're with me,
For example, when the UK got nil point in 2003, some cited the UK's recent and controversial joint invasion of Iraq as the reason that the UK had received no points.
Damn.
But also that year, the UK's entry did sound like this. So maybe it's not all about politics. Eurovision performances have often been used as a platform for raising awareness and visibility of issues and causes. Perhaps most notably, Eurovision has increasingly become a fantastic champion of LGBT plus pride.
Nice.
Various openly LGBT acts have appeared at Eurovision. For example, drag queen Conchita Wurst won the 2014 contest for Austria.
Awesome. That hair is amazing.
So that is Eurovision, a unique intersection between geopolitics and music, and one that never fails to surprise and entertain. Of course, after winning last year's contest, by all rights, Ukraine should be hosting
Who won 23 and who won 23?
the competition this year. But due to the current situation, last year's runner-up, the UK, is hosting it instead, and it's actually happening next week in Liverpool. So let me know in the comments who you think is going to win this year.
Okay, I'm gonna guess. Ukraine. That's my guess. That was pretty interesting. Yeah, definitely educational. I know more than I did, but I also have lots of questions. So, thanks for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. Really appreciate it. Really means a lot. Yeah, let me know in the comments if there's any other stuff you would like me to react to. And yeah, I'll see you at the next one. Bye.